Are you right? 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 Kiki, do you love me? Are you right? Oh, hey, hey. Kiki, do you love me? Are you riding? Say you never ever leave beside me. 'Cause I want you and I need you.
Y'all, it's been like 3 weeks since I recorded a video. Wow, that's crazy. I don't want to lie to y'all. I've just been procrastinating on putting a video out there for you guys when I know all this time I should have been vlogging. I should have been making videos. I don't really know when or where I got sidetracked, but I look kind of weak right now. I haven't been wearing makeup. That's something new. I haven't been wearing makeup even though I just thought I would just beat my face every day for class. I haven't been wearing makeup. My hair's not really done right now. This is like a little half wig or something like that. I don't know. And the angle, the like position of the camera is not really in a specific place. It's just here in front of this lighting. And let's just hope that this video like goes smoothly. Like, I wanted to make a video about being a Christian in college because y'all, when I tell you the struggle is real and that there's temptation everywhere, it's like a really huge topic to talk about that should be up for discussion. It's very controversial because there's no such thing as like a perfect Christian. Like, there's the Bible. The Bible could help lead you and guide you to righteousness and being a good example of a Christian, but it's not written down like the do's. How do I say this? Like, of course there's commandments to follow, you know, there's things that you definitely shouldn't do, there's things that you definitely should do as a Christian, but there isn't a perfect Christian. Like, the perfect Christian does not exist. You know, we all sin, we all have our faults, and we all have different life paths that bring us different difficulties to face, different problems and different like situations where sometimes we just have to react like fast and we don't really have enough time to really think about our actions. So I just feel like in college this is really a time where we're put in like a vulnerable position where we always have like different problems, different situations going on, whether it's with our schoolwork or our social life, going to parties, boys, or for the guys, girls, and family issues and family problems. Like, there's always something going on in college. College is like all over the place. There's always something going on, and it's just when you're a Christian put in that position and you have like your values and your morals, and then you also have everything that's going on around you, everything that your friends are doing or your peers are doing, it's like, how do you balance them both? So that's what I want to talk to you guys about today, how I've been balancing it, or how I've been trying to balance it, and like different temptations and problems that may come up, because it's like a learning process for all of us. Like, there's not one way to go about things. There's many different ways, and I don't know, I guess this would just open up discussion for somebody who may be in the same position I'm at, or for people who feel the same way I do, or maybe you feel a different way. You could just let me know in the comment section, and just for us to just come together as Christians and share our different like experiences and problems that we face during college that may try our religion and try our beliefs. And yeah, so let's get in the video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, girl, if you haven't subscribed. Yo, I haven't done my intro in so long. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, sis. If you haven't subscribed already, what is you doing? If you want to be my sister from another mister, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. But let's get into the video. Okay, so being a Christian in college, or just like, what's the word? Just being faithful to any religion in college can be hard, because in college, what do you guys think of? Let me know in the comment section. What do you think of when you first think about college? Like, of course it's school, but you think about the parties, you think about hookups, you think about alcohol and drugs. Like, that's like the first things you think about when you think about college. And why is that? I don't know how that came about. I mean, in college, most of the people here are like, what, 18 to like early 20s, sometimes mid 20s, depending on like what degree program you're in. But a majority of the people here are very young, and when you're young, you want to experience life, you want to live life, You want to go out, you want to do things, meet new people, make new friends, possibly find your future husband or wife, and you just want to live life to its fullest. While you're learning at school, you still like, you just want to live up. Like, you want to turn up, you want to get lit. It's college. It's like you leaving your parents, you know, you're going off, living on your own for the first time probably, and you just want to live life. You want to live your best life. Like, that's just how it is in college. But when you're a Christian, you know, we know, like, the Bible says, like, getting drunk is a sin. The sin isn't in drinking the alcohol, it's in the act of getting drunk. And you're just not supposed to really indulge in the things of the world. Of course, partying, clubbing, and stuff like that, that's like, it's worldly, because it's not really a place of worship. When you're clubbing, it's like you're having fun and you're giving into like the pleasures of your flesh, like dancing and whatever dancing y'all do. I don't know what dancing y'all do, but you know, y'all know what kind of dancing I'm talking about, and listening to like the secular music with all the cursing and drugs and money and alcohol. Let me tell y'all, I like some of that music too, but actually for my drugs and alcohol class, I'm like, we're supposed to like give something up, and I decided to give up secular music. I've been trying, I mean, I may have relapsed a few times, but I've been trying to just listen to gospel music, because y'all know that music could really have a negative influence on your life when you listen to all that. Like, let me tell y'all, if you spend a day listening to Trey songs or listening to like music about, like, I'm just gonna say it, sexual intercourse, your body is gonna start wanting that. Like, that's all that's inside of your brain, that's all that's playing inside your head. Maybe you had a few experiences, you get in the flashbacks, so it's like, maybe if you don't listen to those songs, you'll have like a less like urge to do it, because it's not constantly being played in your head. It's not constantly you're not constantly like listening to it or feeding into it. So it's like, when you stay away from secular music, you're staying away from negative influences. So it's like, you know, being in the club and listening to all that music and like doing all those things and drinking and smoking and stuff like that, it's not really a place where a Christian wants to be, because we know we're not supposed to be doing those things. We know we're supposed to be different from the world, and we're supposed to really be giving our time into God and not into the pleasures of the flesh and the things of this world, and doing things that man, or just like people who don't have the same values and beliefs as us, we're not supposed to be doing what they're doing. So like, being in that position in college is really hard. It's really a struggle, and it's something I struggle with too, because it's like everybody around me, like, they're going to parties, they're drinking, having fun every night, every weekend, getting lit. And it's like, sometimes I'd be looking at the snaps and I'd be like, dang, I want to do those things too. But it's like, you have to really pick and choose what's more important to you. If you're like me, it's like you're in between. Like, you're in between trying to do the right thing, trying to live a righteous life, trying to be a good Christian, and really wanting to be a good Christian. And then you have the other side where it's like temptation everywhere, and it's like you don't want to give in, but you end up giving in anyways. And that's really where I'm at right now. And it's like you're serving two masters. And if you're a Christian, you know serving two masters is a sin. You're not supposed to do that. It's like you either live for God or you live for the world. And me, like, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I'm in between, but I'm trying to I can't talk. I'm trying to transition from that in between. Like, I'm trying to be more into my spiritual life, more into my relationship with God, than being more into the world. And you know, it's not just college students who struggle with that, like college Christians, I mean Christians who go to college who struggle with that. It's not just us, you know, it's everybody. It's every Christian who struggles with temptation and deciding who to live for. And I would feel more content with myself if I at least put in the work, and I at least try to really push myself to build that relationship with God that I want, because it's important to me. A lot of y'all don't know this. Like a lot of y'all really don't know this. But my mother is a pastor. Before she was a pastor, she was a missionary. At first she was a missionary, then she was an evangelist, and now she's a pastor. And both of my parents are Christian. They installed Christianity in my life ever since I was born, you know. And I grew up in the church. I praised, danced, I sung. I did a few sermons before, read the Bible all the time, went to church all the time. So it was installed in me at a young age. But of course, when I grew up, I got into high school, I like strayed away a bit, and I just felt like, oh, it wasn't for me. I had all these friends who didn't really hold those same values, so it was easy for me to give into peer pressure and stuff like that. So it was like I had to then come out of that and decide for myself what I wanted to do, what I wanted to believe. And I went back to Christianity. I went back to God. And so, y'all, it's really a squirrel on the power line. I never saw that before. And so, what was I saying? So yeah, so my mom is a pastor, and she's like in the process of getting her own church. And like I feel like as her daughter, it's important for me to step up to my position in her church. She wants me to be a youth pastor, and it's like I can't be leading God's people if I'm out here doing like wrong things. I'm not just gonna say I'm out here sinning or going against God, because at the end of the day, everybody sins. It's something like we can't really stop ourselves from doing. We could try, you know, we could pray to be delivered, but it's like we all have our infirmities. We all have something that we all have something that we go through, something that we need to quit, you know, something that God is still working on us with. But I feel like I really need to put in that work to like just the small areas, the small things that I do, you know. I don't want to lead God's people and still be broken down myself and still have those areas where I know I need to work on, and just have them sitting there and like me not progressing to develop a better relationship with God, going against his word but preaching it to other people. Like, no, you can't do that. Like, everybody knows the number one rule is practice what you preach. Practice what you preach. Like, how would you feel if you had a pastor who like just would tell you one thing but do the other? Like, that's just not how it works. And I actually grew up and I went to a church where the pastor was like that, but I didn't find out till after like the whole situation. And basically, like, this was my pastor. I looked up to him. He, you know, preached every Sunday, and we just loved that church. And then to find out the things that he was doing after was like all the mess he was involved in was really disturbing to me. And I just feel like I can't do the same thing. That's hypocrisy. I don't want to be a hypocrite. So I just feel like in order for me to take that position to lead God's people, I have to work on myself first. I have to get myself together. I have to get my mind right. I have to get my flesh controlled, because God knows temptation is real. It's real. It happens to all of us. But when you gain more self-control, it just gives you power. It gives you power over your flesh. It gives you power over peer pressure and negative influences. And I feel like I really need to work on that. And of course, college is the hardest place to work on that, because like I said, there's negative influences everywhere. You know, you probably got friends who hit you up every other night and be like, hey sis, come to this party with me. You probably got some boys, cute boys here that be like, oh girl, you look so fine, let me get your number, let's go on a date, let's go out, let's chill in your dorm. And it's like, you want to have fun. Like, you want to have fun. You're young, you feel invincible, you feel free, you want to have fun. But it's like, where do you draw the line? You know what I mean? Like, where do you draw the line? So now I want to talk to you guys about what I do in those situations, because Lord knows your girl be getting tried, your girl be getting tempted, and you know, sometimes I do fall in. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, like, it happens. I'm young and I'm still trying to figure everything out, but these are the things that's been helping me, because Lord knows there's some times where I want to do it, but I tell myself no, and this is what helps me. Number one is definitely reading my Bible, because reading the Bible is the best thing you could do. All the answers you're looking for are in the Bible, I promise you. If you have the Bible app, you just look up a term or something you're trying to figure out. You could search it up and you'll get like the answers. You'll get Bible scriptures you'll get Bible scriptures pertaining to the topic that you want to learn more about. Or you could watch videos on YouTube. There's plenty of videos on YouTube. I love watching videos. I was just watching a Lecrae video, and he was talking about like his situation growing up, and his experience with depression and anxiety, and like facing difficult situations, and how he used it to make himself a stronger person. And I just love inspiring videos like that, because I promise you 9 times out of 10, like, somebody out there is going through the same thing that you're going through, and if you just hear their story and hear how they overcame it, it will really help you. So reading the Bible, watching sermons, watching testimonies, listening to gospel music, because like I said, the secular music will really put those negative things that you're trying to escape from in your head all the time, like sex and drugs and money and just all these things. Like, don't get me wrong, like, we're not trying to be broke, sis, but when you put money over everything and this is funny to me because I really like that song by A Boogie, Money Over Everything, but like the reality of it is money can't be over everything. You know, what's money without family? What's money without love? What's money without God? So it's like when you put those values above everything, or above things that should be more important to you, it's really putting yourself at the wrong position, on the wrong path. And so listening to gospel music reassures you of the things that you're supposed to be worried about the most, like God and living right for God. And I don't know, when I listen to gospel music, sometimes I just get a sense of relief that all my problems will go away, that God's able and capable of doing all things that I need him to do, that I'm not alone in any of my problems or situations, and that God is always going to be there for me. And it's like sometimes you just have to listen to a gospel song. You just have to listen to words of encouragement to reassure you, to ensure you that you're going to be okay, and that you're going to make it through whatever you're going through. The next one is going to church, something that I have yet to do. Like I mentioned, my mom is a pastor, but she's like part of a clergy of another church. So it's like she's in the process of getting her own church. So I'm not going to church because I don't go to the church she goes to. And it's like, I want to go to church, but I just have to find the right church. Because when I tell you, I've been to plenty of churches my whole entire life. Like probably like 5 or 6, I don't know. Like my family was always going from church to church. So it just came to a point where like at every church there was another situation, there was another like something just always happened. There was always drama. And I noticed how Christians like to judge each other. I know it's not like that in every church, so I'm actually willing to find a church that I actually feel comfortable at in meantime, in due time, until my mom gets her own church. But just growing up, I just saw a lot of stuff in the church that I never really expected. I didn't really understand at a young age, but now that I understand it now, I just don't want to be involved in the drama or the mess, but I want to go to church. But definitely being around like-minded people who share the same values and beliefs as you, especially Christian beliefs, is really good, because it just shows you that God's people really care and love you. Like, just being on one accord with those people and worshiping Christ in the same atmosphere and feeling his presence with those around you is just a beautiful thing. So I really do love experiencing those wonderful moments in church, but I just can't do with the drama. But I'm telling you, church, that's definitely a good one. Also is important in college is just separating yourself, which of course it could be hard because there's not really a lot of people like you who may think like you, and you may start to feel like you have to give in to those pleasures. You may start to feel like you have to like fit in or something like that, or you have to be like those people. But honestly, you really don't. You don't have to be like those people at all. It's okay to be different. Even if you're one out the bunch, it's okay to be different. It's okay to not go to the parties, to be the one to sit at home. And to a lot of people, they may look at you funny, and it's like, you just have to pay them no mind, because honestly, if it means that much to you, if your relationship with God means that much to you, if your Christianity, your faith, whatever religion you believe in means that much to you, you will put it above all things. You will put it above your friends. You'll put it above boyfriends, girlfriends, hookups, parties, drugs, alcohol. You'll just put it above everything, because like I said, at the end of the day, that's what matters to you. Like, that's what's really in your heart. Like, the temporary things, the temporary friends, the temporary drugs, like, they have temporary effects on you. You know, it's not gonna last forever. The pleasures of those things aren't gonna last forever. But what I will tell you is the pleasures of Christ, the benefits that comes with serving him and his love, lasts forever. And that's what I had to realize, especially during my darkest times, where I just felt like, you know, God has given up on me, or that he wasn't real, or that I'd rather do this than serve him. I had to realize that those things were temporary. The happy feelings you get when you give into the pleasures of the sin are temporary, you know. You may feel good at the moment when you do whatever you do, but you know, the sadness is gonna come back, the depression is gonna come back, the anxiety is gonna come back. But if you just keep believing in God, when you keep trusting in God, and when you just hold him in your heart, that lasts forever. Like, I promise you, that feeling will not leave you. You know, of course, we go through things in life, and we get sad all the time, or we have our down moments. But I promise you, when you remember of the good things that God is doing for you right now, because he's done so many things in the past for you. But when you remember what he's still doing for you now, there's a lot of things going on that we don't really think about every day. Simple things like waking up in the morning, or having our whole families waking up in the morning, and having our whole families in perfect health. It's like things like that we don't really think of every day. But when you think of that, and add on all the things that God has been, like, especially in college. You know how many kids wish that they could go to college, or wish that they had the funds to go to college, or that they was able to get higher education, and you realize that you're in that position, and that you could afford housing, and that you could afford meals, and you could afford your education. Like, just things like that we don't really think about a lot. You have to realize that God is blessing you in despite of your other situations, or whatever else is going on. And that's really important too. It's always good to just keep those things on your mind, you know, to always have faith, because despite what you're going through now, greater is always coming. You know, the good always outweighs the bad, because even though we may go through some things, there's a lot of things that God is doing for us that he doesn't really have to do. And imagine if he just took those things away too, you will feel 10 times worse than what you already feel. So it's good to be grateful, sis. Or bro, if you're watching this, it's really good to be grateful for what God is doing, and what he has done, and what he's going to do in the future. But I feel like I covered all the topics I wanted to discuss for this video. I'd say the main thing is having self-control, you know, and always keeping positive influences around you. There was a good suggestion I forgot to mention, to join a Christian group on your campus. My campus, they don't really have one. They have one for Chinese students, but I don't think they have one for like Americans. I don't know, but joining a Christian group on your campus is really good, because like I said, you want to surround yourself with like-minded people, because those are the people that will keep you on the right path. But that, with all the other things I said before, is really good to keep you on the right path, because you don't want to be serving two masters. You want to live for God. You want to devote your entire life for God. Everything you do should be pertaining to God. So just keep that in mind, and keep that in your minds, hearts, and spirits. And I think that's all I have to say for today. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. If you want to see more videos like this, just let me know. I don't know. If you want to make more videos for you guys, I will update you guys on that. Just let me know. If you don't follow me on Instagram, follow me at official Dear Black Girls, because that's where most of my content is going at the moment, because it's just fast and easy, and with all this college work and papers and essays and projects and presentations, I just feel like that's the easiest, quickest way for me to push out my content. I'm sorry if y'all heard like a cracking noise. I broke my ankle or twisted it or something like years ago, so it cracks every 5 seconds. So hopefully you guys like this video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe for your girl. If you haven't subscribed already, what is you doing? If you want to be my sister from another mister, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. But I'll see you in the next one. Love you guys.
New day, new money to be made. New things for them to imitate.